And it was like nothing happened.
Like nothing happened at all. Alright, so...
Except it's on a different fucking recording.
No, it's on the same fucking recording. I haven't changed anything. It only happens if you change any details of the stream. Does it separate into a separate recording? Anyway, so Fizzle's lore roll of 1. Vaguely in your head, you kind of get a sense of something. Like, this seems familiar to something, but you can't really remember exactly what the context is. Like, so you don't know.
Before we continue too far, though, what I was going to ask is, do we want to... because after you get your roll, can't you opt to...
Yes, you can opt to, if you
then
have...
invoke aspects and shit.
You can invoke aspects and whatnot to enhance the result, yeah. And you only need a 3 to overcome, so...
Well, I don't think I have any aspects that can apply to this one specifically.
You built your wings. You're an artificer.
I suppose that is true. I did build my wings. Would this count as some kind of artifice?
Yeah.
Alright, well then, that's what, a fate point to do my thingy?
Yeah, it'd be a fate point. You'd also have to kind of describe, like... Okay, give me pass me the fate point, and kind of narrate for me a little bit, like, something that goes on in her head that leads her to this conclusion.
I mean, you know, she worked very hard to build those wings, so she did a lot of study and research beforehand, probably on a lot of classical artificing, as well as newer techniques, etc., etc. Anything that comes from the plane or came to the plane from somewhere else, since they had a portal, or what was it they called? Gate, didn't they?
Gates. Yes, they call them gates. Okay, yeah, I can see that. So, Fizzle kind of starts to recognize a few things. First off, the various lines and sigils that exist around these figures, the ones that aren't being touched, those look almost like some form of stone-based, like almost, to use Vrin's Magitech terms, like a charging matrix. Like, they're obviously meant to charge.
Did we lose Josh again? Okay.
No, Josh is still here. Yeah, the symbols around them that aren't powered look like almost like a charging matrix of some kind. Like, it would endow these things with power. How deep the lines of these stone images go into the wall implies that maybe they're supposed to slide out of the wall. And they do have a slight guardian look to them. Like perhaps they are, again, some form of defense to this final resting place.
Guys.
Yes.
When we do whatever it is that triggers these guys, they're probably going to come out of the wall and attack us.
Can you figure out what would be the thing that activates them?
I don't know, can I, Josh? Is that like something I can possibly figure out from the particular sigils here or whatever?
Sure, with another lore.
Okie dokie.
We're going to say that narratively, when Malgarian says this, Fizzle floats on over to them, like starts getting a closer look at like the pictogram itself. Okay.
Hey, you did better. You're
You did.
improving.
You did better. I didn't give a number either.
Hooray!
I didn't give I should give a number before you roll. So, like on every obstacle like this. But I'll just let it go for now. Just remind me, like, Josh, what's the target?
All right.
Okay.
Also, as an aside, one of the things that you can do in the future, Emily, kind of like what I did in the prelude, whatever, you can be like, I would like to use this magic roll, my spell shaping, to be like, I'm gonna try and use this to create an advantage for trying to do this thing, because I want to follow what the magic is doing in the wall.
Yes,
So
you could
like
do that too.
you can just literally create your own bonuses out of whatever contrived bullshit you can come up with.
Yeah, it's true. That is a central tenet of this game. So, what then happens is that you kind of feel along the in that little crevice, like where the carving is, and you realize there's engravings inside there too. And you kind of take a moment to feel them out. You realize that they are basically what you'd use logic. They're logic runes on golems in Vryn's Magicking speak. They're logic circuits. They basically are pre-programmed magical runes that dictate how the construct acts. You don't get all of them, or the express thing, but you do get enough to understand that the logic circuit states that if someone comes in here attending to tear the place up, damaging things, ransacking this tomb, these things would activate. And it basically says, expel the invaders.
Alright, remember when I said I would ransack stuff for you guys? If you felt guilty about it? I take that back. I'm not doing it. Sorry.
I feel like that is somehow pertinent to what you just figured out about these.
Well, obviously, yes. I thought that was implied.
Oh, it was nearly explicit. But, well, I find that most humor is funnier after it is explained.
Okay, well, yeah, this is basically to stop, thieves and raiders, or at least, the damaging types.
All right, so follow the party up the stairs. It winds up about, 3 twists of a spiral staircase. You end up in this very warm room. The first thing that your eyes catch on is a large hearth across the room from you, which is burning with a magical blue fire. There are candles throughout this room that are, again, carved with the same kind of lithomancy, geometric shapes, and they burn with a normal flame color because, blue makes awful light. Don't tell Alona I said that. Mm-hmm. But you see that this is like it has all the creatures to comforts of home that you'd see in like a wizard's cottage or something like that. A thick wooden table with clawed legs, covered in the remains of like his eatery and crockery, as well as large maps of both this plane and others far-ranging. Various arcane notes and things are pinned up on the wall. The man apparently never really stopped working on his cataloging. He has sketches of the various dinosaurs on this plane, and he's even named a few. Like there was the one that attacked your ate your little shelter, which he has called a sun neck.
We'll come up with a better name.
We'll come up with a better name.
Yeah, that's a terrible name. What's?
That's a really bad name.
Jeez.
Meanwhile, Josh is over there like, okay, assholes.
No, I know full well it's a long name.
See if
But
I help you guys play.
Even
Ever.
Vane himself seems to understand that this was a terrible name, because next to the name is a small drawing of the dinosaur like staring up into the sun, like with the whole corona in there. He's like, that's why I call him this.
Shouldn't he have named it like Stupid and Blind? I mean, it's staring at the sun.
There's another little drawing of a little feathered raptor that's clutching a stone in its hands, and he's just called these little thieving bastards.
We'll keep those.
Yeah, that seems pretty accurate.
But there's also pictures of like the various carnivorous species, and some of them look quite terrifying. Like, there's an ichthyosaur that he's entitled the Terror of the Deep.
With the subtitle of "Don't take a piss off of a ledge at the beach."
And there's just pictures of like rows of teeth, and it just says "Snip Snap is not fun."
Oh my.
T-Rexes and raptors and various other things. A couple very crude, primitive drakes. But also other things from other planes. Like, he has a note that just looks like a massive... It looks like a polyp, and it's inside a clawed gauntlet that it's using to wander around, like spider-style, scuttering with the fingers. And he hasn't named it. And he just simply says, for this creature to ever encounter Vryn, the whole plane is doomed.
Huh.
Is there any elaboration as to why?
Yeah, it takes over. Yes, he does. He has like little notes on how this little flesh polyp, can basically take over artifacts and use them as its body.
That is so cool.
Man, and I wanted one as a pet. Ugh.
However, with that said, in the corner, not far from the hearth, there is a large armchair and a giant downy bed stuffed with dinosaur feathers, with a thick quilted blanket. And just in the shadows, you can see laying there an obviously very dead individual, mummified with age.
I'm gonna look at the map of this plane.
Okay.
That's kind of gross.
To put it simply, Jimmy, the image on the plane actually looks a lot like Pangea.
Okay.
Realizing where the body was, and for all of his foresight, the dude apparently did not have a golem instructed to put his carcass in a better spot. Malgarian's gonna walk over and start doing his people's funerary rites.
Okay.
Which is?
Fuck if I know. I just thought that he might actually have some. I'm working on it.
Too late now. You said it. You gotta do it.
No. You all listen to Malgarian's like very.
He's speaking in dragon.
He's speaking in dragon, which after a few words, all of you now understand dragon. Thanks to your sparks, you hear the first few words of what Malgarian speaks in Draconic, and then you hear the actual words come through in a language that you understand.
Learning through osmosis. This is amazing.
Well, this is especially important for Fizzle, because Fizzle doesn't know that this is a Planeswalker power. That any language that she encounters, she can understand just by hearing a little of it. And with that realization, you realize that the notes on the walls, they aren't written in a language you can understand either. But after reading of, like, looking at it, you understand it.
I'm just gonna interrupt you here for a minute. Someone I sent the link to is saying that it's either ended again or something's wrong because we're apparently not streaming anymore.
The stream is supposedly streaming. Maybe it has a different link now?
Yes, there is another one that started 15 minutes ago.
Okay, get me the link to that one.
Hey, there we go.
Yay. I'm sorry that... I thought it just continued... Oh, maybe that's a Twitch thing. Bleh.
I think it's a Twitch thing.
Bleh. That's what I say to that.
Damn it, Josh, you had like 7 jobs to do.
Yeah, I know. Oh well, I'll string them together or something, it's fine.
Anyway, so the gist of what these funeral rites are going to be is he's going to start weaving white magic into his body to preserve it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if he's not as handsome or ugly or whichever it was as he was when he was dead, or sorry, when he was alive, doesn't really matter. And then, you know, so some preservation magic so that his body just stops rotting and he's just gonna kind of, yeah, whatever. And then, pretty much pick him up off the floor for the moment,
Mhm.
and put him onto the bed, and then continue whatever.
Oh no, he's
prayers.
in the bed. Like he's
Oh, I
fully.
thought you said he was on the floor.
No, he's in the bed entirely. You get the sense that this is how he passed away. He just fell asleep in his warm bed and never woke up.
Okay. Yeah, so then I guess putting the preserving rights on him, since he probably, you know, doesn't stink by this point.
No, he doesn't. He's fully mummified at this point.
But yeah, that being said, he's just going to kind of turn to the rest of the group and be like, you know, before we leave, if we find that he had something set up as his actual place of rest, then once we find it, I will put him there.
If you need me to, I'll help you carry him.
All right. For now, though, has anybody seen anything of where this book might be if it's up here?
Should I roll investigate?
I'm not going to make anyone roll investigate because the book is not here. There are books, little journals and things like that, similar to the one that Matt has. The guys seem to have a particular fondness for these little journals. But their book isn't here. However, since you are kind of investigating the room, there is one thing that seems very out of place.
What's that?
Mounted over the fireplace, there is a small stone tablet with a star shape around it. In the middle of it is a single black onyx jewel, about the size of a palm of a human hand. This thing radiates a small trickle of black mana, which, considering this guy seems to have relied primarily on white and blue, seems a little odd for its inclusion there. It's also soft set into the wall. Like, you can tell there's a gap behind it.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not suspicious or anything.
Oh, no.
Oh, let me guess. I have small hands. You want me to do it?
Well, yeah, but try not to. If at all possible, let's not move the black jewel. I mean, if there's a space behind it, maybe we peek behind to see what's back there without disturbing it. Because if those things are rigged for whatever, the last thing we need to do is tear this place apart looking for the book.
I'm quite aware.
Yeah. So, go for it.
Alright, I guess I'll get up there and try to do some peeking.
Okay. You kind of fuss with the jewel, jiggle it around a little bit. You get a sense of the clasps that are holding the jewel in place. They are hinged. They are meant to be opened. So you kind of jiggle a couple hinges so you can't move the gem, or so that you can kind of move the gem a little bit. Behind it is a small glimmer of gold.
And of course, I had to send the kleptomaniac there.
The kleptomaniac that happens to have a self-preservation that is higher than her.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm not used to dealing with stuff like that. You know, thieves with a high sense of preservation.
Why do people think I'm a kleptomaniac?
She's not a kleptomaniac. Yeah, why are you guys thinking that she's a kleptomaniac?
Oh, that was out of character.
I just copied, or I just followed what he was saying.
No, out of character. I'm just used to having thieves that you know.
Do not care.
Considering that mine clung onto a skull that killed the entire party, yeah.
But no, that's what you see, Emily.
Can I see what it is that glimmers like that, or?
It looks like wire, chain, some form of string of gold of some variety.
Some kind of... There could be a key attached to that chain, or it could just be an amulet. Is there, can I see any, like, obvious runes or whatever set around this thing that might be, like, some kind of magical alarm system?
No, you can't see any obvious runes.
There's always a magical alarm system.
And snakes.
Be an aspect.
There's no snakes. There's no snakes. Snakes. Why is it always snakes?
Well, you heard it here, folks. There are no snakes.
Alright, how about I try to get a little pinch of glitter in there? And see if I can basically detect any of this magic. See if it'll tell me anything.
That's easy enough to do. Just, you get the glitter in there, give it a little spell shaping. You're only gonna need, this obstacle only needs a 2.
Alright, now, that be more blue? Am I not looking for, though, yeah, what, shit. How would that work? Like, would I throw in, would I need to, like, use something specific, or is it basically just throw a color at it?
Just throw a spell shaping check at it.
Okay.
It's not a spell associated to any color.
Gotcha. Alright.
Okay, yeah.
Don't worry about bonuses.
Yeah, you get in there.
Wait, isn't Fizzle red-blue?
Red-blue.
So no matter what, the mana that you manipulate, you're rolling a +1 right now.
Yep, That's true.
Oh, well then that should be 5.
Oh, by the way, for those of you at home who didn't have this explained to you off screen, see that big flower in the middle? That is the thing displaying what the relative strength of each mana color is.
Yep.
And now you know.
So right now, if anyone was a black mage, you'd be screwed.
Except you are in the presence of something that does produce a small trickle of black.
Pardon?
Oh, you weren't here when... Oh, yeah, they found the...
Oh yeah, we found a swamp in the library.
This was a motherfucker who uses a 5-color deck, wasn't he? That son of a bitch!
No, what they found, Matt, was that mounted over the hearth, there's a tablet with the very recognizable, like, the star of mana, and in the center of it is an obsidian or a onyx stone about the size of the palm of a human hand. That's giving forth a small trickle of black mana.
Hey Josh, did you get that picture I sent you?
Yeah. I'm.
Did you
Dirty.
get that thing I sent you?
Giggity.
It's kind of like that. More just a black stone.
So it's the original picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, in fact, I can. And they found out that it's like on set with hinged clasps to this wall, and there's something gold behind it. And she's trying to detect magic. You don't detect any magic inside the chamber or in the small cavity behind the stone. Just the black mana that's leaking from the stone itself.
All right, everybody, step back and hold on to your butts.
I want to make one clarifying question, though, just because of phrasing. Is it leaking black mana, or is it producing black mana?
Producing black mana.
Okay.
Okay, so...
Yeah, Malgarian's over there adjusting a body, and when you say that, he just kind of looks up, like, lifts his head and looks over like, wait, what?
I said, step back and hold on to your butts. I'm about to open the thing.
Are we sure this is
Why
wise?
am I holding on to my butt, though?
Yeah, that's a really odd phrase.
All right, fine. Don't hold on to your butts. Don't back up. Just, I'm going to open it. I can't detect anything, any magic here that's like, besides the trickle coming out. But just in case I'm wrong, I'm telling you to be careful. But if you don't want to, that's fine. I'm just going to open it. And if we all explode, that's on you.
So,
Taking one giant pack,
imagine
Josh.
if the glitter bug was here, she would have actually backed up and held on to her butt.
It's true. However...
Also, I do step back.
So in this, after she completes this rant, she just opens up the clasps and the stone falls from the wall.
Shit.
Do you catch it?
Yes.
You catch it. Okay. So in tiny hands, she catches it. And yes, it's an amulet. The gold was a golden chain. And you now have this black stone just in your hand, leaking or producing a small trickle of black mana.
No. Oh, so the whole... Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, it's fine. The whole thing was the amulet. There wasn't hiding an amulet. We're okay.
Yes, but the runes down there could consider what you just did as ransacking.
Maybe, but this could also be how we open up the way to get to the book we're looking for. So,
Besides, if they do think we're ransacking, well,
Then I'll just
get
throw
a
it
little
at
bit
them.
of sport.
point at you guys and run away. I mean, we got this. I'm kidding. I'm probably kidding.
All right. At this point, Malgarian's funeral rites have completed.
But I haven't sung the Song of 72 Suns.
We are
Yes,
not
you have.
sitting here for 72 days.
You know, it does go a lot faster if we bring him to a plane that has more than one sun.
That's a good point.
Wait, what?
I said it goes a lot faster if you take him to a plane that has more than one sun.
Okay, fine. We'll go to, what is it, Mirrodin? Let's go.
Shh, that plane doesn't exist in this world.
How many suns does that world have?
5.
5.
5, one for each mana, because that's how the mana gets into the plane.
Nice.
They went straight up Dragonlance on that bitch.
Josh, you saying shh, that that world doesn't exist just made me think of one of the Simpsons Halloween specials, The Shinning.
You mean The Shining?
Shh, you want to get sued?
All right, so
Thank you, Emily. You
Fizzle.
are amazing.
You're
so
quite
Fizzle has a
welcome.
shiny.
That's right.
A shinning.
Shh.
Cassie's over there with her microphone off going, fight, fight, fight. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
So, I take it then that you've obtained everything that you were seeking in the living space. I mean, he has some dope. Well, wait, no, that the food's in the fridge is all rotted.
Uh-huh.
Might look through some of the journals and see if there's anything useful.
Yes.
There's not too much useful.
How? I have a question.
Yes.
Which color of mana would it be to cast a spell to just duplicate one of these mundane books?
That's
Because
technically...
we're manipulating technically information and knowledge, so it's blue, but it's an orderly thing.
I think that's also... I think that'd be literally a spell. Like, that's almost like practically a cantrip. So I think any color could do that. Where it's just
Fuck
like...
it, I'm finding all of the books that he wrote about this plane in particular, and I'm making some fucking copies then.
Okay. Or are you talking like to transcribe like a book to a book, or are you talking like I'm going to summon paper and do the
I'm going to manifest a fucking book in my hand, point it at that other book, and say, copy paste.
Yeah, I could
Control Vika.
I could see that being a white spell. At least the summoning of the paper would be a white spell. Or a green, because paper's made of trees.
So pretty much it's everything but black.
Everything but black, pretty much, yeah. I could
And
see...
actually, you know what? Correction. Everything but red, because black would do it because you're cheating.
Yeah, because you're cheating. Yeah, so yeah, any color can do this dumb thing that you're trying to do. Go for it.
So red would. I don't know. Matt said any color but red.
Any color but red.
And actually, I'm not even sure that that's right. I'm not even sure that that's right, because red would be like freedom of information, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
it shouldn't just be kept here.
This is like a
Set the
cantrip level
information
thing.
free.
So yeah, this is like a cantrip level thing. So I just roll a spell shaping. I'm gonna say targets 2. Okay.
Yay.
He watches okay, and kind of goes, okay. So you get knowledge of some of the dinosaurs that are here, some of the tribes that are here. Some of his notes on another planeswalker that occasionally shows up here.
Ooh, I'm interested in those notes.
Yeah.
Also, I'm interested in his notes on basically as many different planeswalkers as he has written about.
Ah. Okay.
And I'm, well,
I throw the monster manual at Tedrix.
You also get a small volume he's written on what he sees as the greatest threat to this plane, the Mimeplast.
The Gesundheit?
He calls it the Mimeplast, which is a specific... He states that it is a life-consuming and emulating ooze creature. Massive in size, that wanders slowly through this plane, consuming anything in its path, and incorporating it into itself. It can mimic whatever it is consumed until whatever biological material that it consumed to do so is fully dissolved by its acidic body.
Oh, that is incredibly rude.
You should really stop doing that.
He also states in his journal on this that the creature also seems to possess some form of innate mana source, very large in size. But he's never gotten close enough to figure out what that source is.
Did he ever get close enough to figure out what kind of mana it was?
No. He specifies that in the book, probably in bold letters on the front page. Observed from a distance, highly dangerous.
And since there are tribes on this planet, they probably have legends about it.
That's true.
So I guess poking it with a stick is out of the question.
Now you can poke it with a stick, you're just not going to have the stick anymore.
You could throw glitter at it.
You might not have the arm anymore either. But yes, that's most of his notes on the plane. I'm also going to say that you copy the map of the plane as well.
That'd be useful.
Yeah, that would fall under the I want to copy all of his information.
Yep. From there, what do?
Well, I mean, we look through the place upstairs, right? We've seen everything.
Pretty much.
Alright, then I guess we should head on downstairs.
Alright, so this path descends a little deeper into the earth, but it eventually opens out into a large, perfectly square room. He kind of forgoes his usual kind of the celebratory manner of like all the things he's seen and whatnot on this, and instead goes for a very no nonsense in-ruined walls within this room. Inside the room, you behold, or you catch sight of 5 pillars. Covered in those geometric runes. Around, and in the center of them, a large basin of water. Directly across from them is a large iron door.
What was it with this individual on iron in particular?
Maybe there's just a lot available here.
On the large door, there is a symbol of what you recognize as the color star.
Mm-hmm.
And on each of the pillars, there are various runic instructions in his native language, which you're sparks identify and translate. Basically telling that a very simple little quip saying that knowledge is only to be given to the worthy. Adventure only given to those willing to seek it. And experience only to those willing to share it. Beneath each of those is a round receptacle about the size of a human palm.
We only got one of these.
What Tedrix, I have a question.
Yes.
What is the Elvish word for friend?
You make it sound as if I actually talk to elves.
No, I was being facetious. Anyway, so Josh, what was it? So there were which lines? Sorry.
On each of the pillars is just simply written oh damn, I can't remember what I just barely said.
You see, with how you were saying it, I thought you had like notes for it. Here, it's okay. We have this recorded. I'll be right back, guys.
I believe it was knowledge to those who earn it, adventure to those who seek it, and experience only to those who share it.
Okay, well, friggin' Bulgarian sticking his hand on the third pillar.
Okay?
I think you need one of these. Hold on, holding up the amulet with the stone in about the size of a human palm. Not sure black fits in any of those, but I got this one.
Okay, wait, I thought you said... So wait, what was the thing that was in the pillar, not the words in it? Because I thought you said it was
There's a round receptacle about the size of a human palm.
Okay, I really misheard that.
It's alright.
I thought it was like a hand reader.
Out of character, I had originally intended for that to be the thing. But then everyone made a blue mage.
Shit! Josh, why didn't you just tell me to be the black mage?
I was telling you to be a black mage. You're like, shut the fuck up, Matt.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We don't have a red mage. Well, we technically do. Yeah, we have red.
Hi, what's up?
Yeah.
Two of us have red as an aspect.
Hello.
Two of you, yeah.
We have 2 red, 4 blue.
Yeah, but
1 white, 1 green.
But I'm really not the normal blue.
Yeah, it's
yes,
true.
but you know what you're not? Black. I said yeah, but you know what you're not? Black.
Fucking racist.
I know.
Damn right.
Oh, this is gonna get interesting. But yeah, I had originally intended to that be the puzzle, but no. Getting back to narrative. So Fizzle's holding up the stone as Mulgarian's kind of touching at the pillar. I think it needs one of these.
Okay, now that Mulgarian's being held accountable for his player mishearing, he's gonna nod and say, "Agreed."
I was just poking it. Don't get on my case.
I'm getting on Josh's case. Gonna ride that ass until it's sore.
Impossible. I have to
Anyway, so
Dirty.
Mulgarian's just looking at the receptacles and just touching it as he thinks. Yes, I believe that is the case. But if that stone is producing black mana, I'm not sure how that exactly is appropriate for any of these 3 phrases. Because black does not share. Black does not seek adventure of any sort. What it seeks is indulgence.
Wait, what?
He kind of looks back over his shoulder at Tedrix. Even if this amulet in particular is producing black mana and it is supposed to be a key for getting us past this, none of these phrases in particular would actually call for black mana.
Unless it's literally just calling for that particular stone.
None of these phrases call for the particular stone.
But the mage is
Which
blue.
receptacle?
I didn't mean this particular color of stone or anything. I was just looking at the size of the bowl and the size of the rock.
And yes, I agree. I'm saying then you are not listening to me either. What I am saying is, yes, there is obviously going to be stones like these, but what I'm saying is I do not believe with what these pillars are saying that a stone like this producing black mana is going to be relevant. Did anyone see anything else through the rest of the facility similar to that one?
I don't remember seeing anything like that.
Do you want
Anyone
me to go
else?
back and do you want me to go back and check?
Anyone notice like a place in here where this one might stick in? Like
Josh,
another hole?
Well, they're trying to figure that out, Josh. I'm just gonna head upstairs.
Okay. So, as you guys investigate the room, you do come across a bit of a thing. The 5 pillars that are in this room are arranged to match the color star on the door. And being all mages, you're familiar with what colors go where.
Okay. So the phrasing is less important, more just the actual physical thing.
Right.
Okay. So then, that being the case, most of that argument ends up being invalid. Just stick it in the fucking pillar, and okay, off we go. We need to go search the rest of the place and go find a thing.
So,
Okay.
Fizzle flutters over with the onyx stone and places it in where black goes.
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom left corner of the star. So I think that's where. Is that the way it is on the card back? Yeah, that's the way it is on the card back. Okay. I had to check. I for a moment I was like, wait. Is it on the card that that's where the black is? I thought it was the other way around. Anyway. So she inserts the stone. The pillar, like the blue mana, kind of like crawls up the sigils of the pillar. And it begins to issue a hum. As the stone kind of locks in place. You can't pull it back out. And on the door, a small blackish purple light begins to shine on the door. And then the black around the there's a small circle around that's now revealed around the pillar of the black around the black pillar, and it simply just says, "Blue lingers at the sites of old to the south." Where the great mystery
Gonna holler.
remains.
Okay, guys, I think this is a scavenger hunt.
Yep, gonna holler upstairs. T-Drix, we're going on a field trip.
And then across from that, like directly across from the plane, it states, "Red lingers in bloodstained hands that forged the first spell shapers."
Hmm.
Let me write those down so I don't forget them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Josh, I've already got there. Just keep talking.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't of the first spell shapers. It was those who forged the first spell shapers.
Yeah.
It's all right. It works either way. T-Drix, we're going on a field trip.
Yep.
All right. So, I take it everyone now understanding this seems to be, you need to get something of a test. They all head out from this tomb. Awesome.
Well, Malgarian's just going to assume that since the first one is just go to point A by all of the Grandois instructions given, he's gonna be like, well, I guess I need to go fucking hit a book in this damn place or whatever. So he's gonna go upstairs, be like, you kids have fun. I'm gonna go try and deal with the time consuming part.
Okay. So, the obstacle. Oh wait, no, I forgot to hit enter on this one. There we go. So he heads back up to the living space. Clears out a small place on the table to read a little bit, right? What? I'm trying to think of a skill that you can roll for this obstacle.
Well, the skill would be called Investigate, of which he doesn't have any bonuses on it, but...
I investigate.
Well, you're certainly able to just be like, wait, Malgarian, I know how to research shit.
Well, what are you trying to research?
At which point he's gonna pull out he's gonna just kind of mutter under his breath about like, oh, the blue casting fool put us on a... Thank you, Emily. And now we're going to get flagged for inappropriate adult content.
Stretching, what is wrong with you people?
You're stretching something.
don't even know what
Gross.
that's supposed to mean.
Yes, you do.
I,
It's the reason you don't have long fingernails.
Oh,
Oh, Matt, really? Really? Gotta go there.
I
mean,
went
technically-
there.
Technically, we already
I've
were
dragged
there.
you all kicking and screaming on that fucking journey.
I mean, well, I mean, you know, like, sure, but also, like, it's kind of a matter of politeness if you're, you know, with somebody else.
But you do have short fingernails, don't you?
Right now, yeah.
I hate you, Matt.
So there we
I really
go.
do.
So anyway, getting back to the role-playing scene. So
You get
he's
to
going to
put
be
that-
muttering on.
Oh, sure. You get to put that picture in my head, and then it's just like, anyway.
Yep.
You're an asshole.
Anyway, so he's when Teeter's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "This. Oh, once Fizzle put the stone into the pillar, it apparently gave us a pair of hints towards a scavenger hunt. Because the daft blue casting fool apparently decided that contrived methods of proving one's worth or whatever was going to be more important than anything else. So, given that I don't think anyone here exactly feels like blasting our way out past the construct golems through a magically reinforced fortress, I'm going to look up what the second location's hint was.
I'll help you find it. So, Josh,
Okay.
I will help Algarin. So, what do I need to roll?
You would need
Well,
to roll.
but before we get to throwing dice, though, the Malgarian would just look at it and be like, I'm not sure though if we should send only Fizzle and Amatrain though. If the Josh, what was his name again? The wizard
Vane.
dude.
Vane.
Vane
Vane.
with a V.
With a V.
Okay. If Vane was going to go through all of these lengths to try and protect the book itself and all of his other toys, I'm not certain that Fizzle and Amatrine, like, I know that they're both capable spellcasters and such, but going out away from the fortified location with only 2 people seems like flirting with disaster.
I agree.
So I'll leave it to you, Tedrix. Do you want to be the one hitting the books, as the young wormlings say, or would you like me to cover it?
Considering that the fairy has even less experience than I do, I honestly think it would be better suited if I stay here, because you are way more well equipped to handle more.
I'm a warrior, yes, I understand.
I'm a border guard and I'm part of the Imperial Guard. It's just I'm more used to my own realm. I'm not used to the planeswalking yet.
Fair enough.
Shut up, Frank.
All right.
Shut up, Frank. Shut up, Frank.
Uh-oh.
Talking Frank.
Shut up, Cassie.
I have a curious.
But So I can stay here and try and find clues while you. There.
I understand what you were saying, Tedrix. I will go help them. If you need us, do that odd blue mind whisper thing that you folks do.
Yeah. Okay. If I know you're not going to be going out, are you going to be going out the same way you came in?
That is the
Yes.
only way in or out.
Okay, then I'm gonna ask you. Could you grab my leash?
Malgarian just kind of turns to stare at him, like not as a like, oh, what are you gonna ask me to do, or whatever. He's just like, it's more of an expectant, like, without actually saying anything. And
It's just I don't want to keep the beast out there. If I'm just gonna be, if we're gonna be here for a while, I don't want to keep it here, and so just grab it and let him go. And then when you come back, could you just hand it back to me?
I'm sorry, I don't think I follow. You want me to release it and then give it back? I hope you realize not everyone can do what you do.
I just need you to give me back my leash. Not the beast itself, just the instrument that I used to leash it.
Oh, okay. Out of character, I thought you just had a magic spell that manifested as a leash.
The way I envisioned it, it's kind of like a stave, but it uses the mana.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. So you want me to go fetch your artifact. Got it. I understand now. At that point, he's like, oh, yes, that would easily enough done.
Things get dirty in here.
I meant to talk to Josh about that first.
That's fine. No problem. Clarify as you need. Narrate what you need to do.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I pictured it.
Cool.
Okay. So at that point, Malgarian's gonna be like, he's just gonna kind of get up and maybe a little bit, too quickly to seem some people or whatever. It's like, I don't have to do the book work or whatever as he's on his way out the door.
All right, Josh. So do I roll investigate?
Yes, you do.
Okay. I don't have a modifier, do I?
Nope. Let's see.
Well,
Tedrix. Yeah, you don't have a modifier.
I have an investigate at +1 on my characters on the character sheet on skills.
Okay. Then you're just gonna hit that dice. You have no additional modifier to it.
Okay. Oh God, that's loud. Ouch.
Got a 1.
Okay.
It's that's the thing.
Pretty pictures.
I'm going to state that this is an extended task, okay? So
Okay.
you're going to have multiple rolls of this.
Okay.
Until you reach a total, and this is how extended rolls work in Fate for everyone. Like if you have a task that's going to, like say you're crafting an item or something that's going to take a while, I basically set a number and then you roll until you surpass that number. All right?
Okay.
So for this, we're going to say it's 5. Okay?
5.
So that's for his first check over it. I'm going to say at this point we kind of settle over Tedrix, looking over some of the journals. And in one of them, the earliest journals, you hear him mention Vane mention a certain tribe, highly matriarchal, who is dabbling in very early magic through using a form of like highly religious shamanism. But you need more information, so you start trying to cross-reference through other encounters he has with this tribe.
Okay.
In the meantime, let's move the spotlight over to the group that's leaving.
Yep.
So, to the group that's leaving, where are you heading? To the south?
Yes, we're gonna go look for the old shit.
The old shit. Alright, so you fly out past the mountains.
After I get the bondage stick.
Yes, the stick, and bring it back to him.
Also, are we waiting for Emily?
Oh, did Emily have to BRB?
Yep.
Okay, we'll wait for Emily. Because she might have reactions to this.
Old shit.
Do 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 do.
Oh, shit.
Fascinating radio. Also, I love that you could tell exactly when he transformed.
It's true, right?
I want to go back and listen to this now.
It was great. It's great. Let's see. Gonna go with this one for now. While we just play a little music. Get my head going.
Oh, this could be bad.
What could be bad?
The music.
Yeah? Is it gonna put you to sleep?
Maybe.
It's just ambient shit.
Yes.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh man, I'm losing players left and right. Gasps and horror.
I have no idea what you're.
His mom needed help.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, there we go. That might help a little bit. I turned the music volume down.
That's probably a good idea.
Probably.
Must resist using energy drink till.
Resist the temptation.
Oh, I'm gonna resist. Like I said, I can get crap sleep tonight and always take a nap tomorrow. Well, okay. Take a nap at some point. Oh shit, we're still recording. Never mind, I don't take naps. I'm not that old.
I take plenty of naps. I'm 30.
I take lots of naps.
Okay, well, thank you for making me feel less old.
I'm 26.
Yeah, well, I'm not 26.
Oh my.
What?
Get a link.
We make fantastic radio.
We do make fantastic radio. Anyway. How do you think I've been doing so far with the improvising?
I think it's been working.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, now that we have Emily, we don't have Matt.
It's alright. It's alright.
Bum, bum, bum.
Emily, how have I been doing on the improvising?
Fun.
Cool.
I've been enjoying this.
I'm a single Pringle ready to mingle.
Dirty.
Dirty.
It was amazing.
I can't wait till someone gets down to 1 fate point and I can't and I have to start throwing compels at them.
You don't have to, but it's really good if you do.
It's recommended. I mean, fate points are important.
That's why I haven't used any of them. I'm just waiting for you to do something.
For me to do something? To throw you compels?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see.
Why?
I can
No,
compel.
shut up. Shut up. No, Josh. No.
Like you could
No.
just
Compels
use
work
your
The
you
urge.
could use your fate points without him giving you compels.
No,
Like you could use them. He doesn't have to compel you first.
no, I understand, but knowing how much of an asshole GM I am, and the hell I put him in the last game I ran, even though I explicitly explained the campaign to them, I'm expecting something. Of course, that could just be me being tired talking.
No, I'm not that vindictive at all. I'm not that vindictive at all.
The way you said that makes me want to call bullshit.
I'm full of sarcasm and joy.
So can we find a cave painting that looks like this?
Looks like what?
Picture in Planeswalkers.
Your stick family was delicious. You probably will. You probably will.
I like that.
Just a T-Rex nomming natives.
Yes.
So what is Matt doing, Cassie?
He went. Kelly knocked on our door and asked for somebody to help her.
Oh.
I have no idea with what.
I'd feel bad continuing on with him, considering how we left him out of the lurch on the black stone thing. And that was something I didn't even think was that important.
Yeah, I kind of thought that you gave us a stone. That was what the stone was for. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, shush. It's okay.
What?
Hi, Emily. How you doing?
Hi. What's going on?
Explosions. What's going on?
Oh, okay. I'll get my glitter.
Okay. Good job.
By the way, when do you move again?
October 24th.
Okay,
Your
it's
ass
gonna be
is
really
mine.
weird.
Oh my.
What I was gonna say though. Is
Josh, I thought you were moving in with Amanda, but
I am moving in with Amanda.
Wait, who's
does
Amanda?
she know about this?
That's my mate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See,
Yeah.
Josh, this is how often I had no idea.
Like, I mean, if she's all into that, then more power to y'all. Do what you want. You're grown.
Oh hell no! If Frank isn't allowed to see anybody else, neither am I.
Like I said, I don't know. I don't know your lives.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm a jealous bitch. I won't let Frank see anybody else. So why should I expect that I can have somebody else?
I don't know. What if it's like this weird four-way thing?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's gonna work.
No. Okay. Well,
No.
It
sorry,
can be
Josh
fun.
tried.
But I can make him feel uncomfortable like all my other straight friends. Except for Matt, because he can manage to get me.
That can make anyone feel uncomfortable.
Matt cannot match my level of degeneracy. I'm a filthy
Hasn't happened
degenerate.
He can still make you feel uncomfortable.
Largely for the people around me.
I'm gonna say it hasn't happened yet. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna, but it hasn't.
Oh my.
And I'm back.
Welcome
I made
back.
Josh uncomfortable,
Emily
though.
just said that you've never made her feel uncomfortable.
It's true.
Never made Emily feel uncomfortable?
Oh shit!
Yep.
You just challenged him. You know that, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
We're going to continue with the narrative
Well,
now.
I
Now
know
you're
that
continuing.
that statement's wrong because I know that statement's wrong. I mean, hell, it was just a couple weeks ago we were talking about. I was talking about the idea of trying to do a smart night of strip Cards Against Humanity.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I was
And
there for that.
I said that you would never know.
Well-
And just
Yeah, but everything about how you were talking was very much stammering. Like you were very much like entertained by the idea of just putting that many people on the spot, but you were also very not cool with that.
I would not be cool with it in person because I have severe body issues. But you know,
either
talking
way.
about it's that uncomfortable.
Either way, intermission is over, people. Let's get back to game. We can discuss this for the rest of the night.
I was about
I
to
want
say.
to eat
So
the
anyway, back
dinosaur.
to the narrative.
So, the three Fizzle, Bulgarian, Ametrine fly off, heading south. As Tedrix is left to research. I'm going to say Ilona is also with you, Tedrix, just in case.
Okay.
She is probably like giggling at all the statues. Just saying.
Well, just a reminder. This was the iteration where she said that she's not being an
As
airhead.
Oh,
Yeah, she's not as airheaded.
okay. Not as airheaded. Got it.
Yeah. So,
In this iteration, it's a front.
So, fly off towards the south. You do have to fly over the mountains as it goes. And slowly you start to come to over the mountains to a coastal area. This takes about, I don't know, it's about an hour flight. But you do come to like this coastal area. And down below you're seeing fires dotting areas and small cleared areas, and eventually you get sight of a small like wooden bivouac style fort before a series of very large stone temples.
Mm-hmm.
And it clicks into most of your minds probably that, oh, ruins. It did say the riddle did speak of the mysteries of old. So, course of action.
I'm gonna drop carbon rods from orbit.
That's not this. That's different campaign, Matt. Different campaign.
All right. I'm gonna use some red magic to float some rock pillars into
Emily, wrong campaign. Wrong campaign. That's the other one.
I was expecting Emily to say something about growing some trees.
Different campaign. I know we've
I
kind
lit
of...
up like a Christmas tree. I mean, no.
Okay.
I just tease.
But no, what's your course of action?
Well, I asked them in my brain, shall we go down?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to
Dirty.
remove this and add a couple tokens that are going to become important.
Wink, wink.
All right. Mulgarian's going to fly down in full dragon form. Not going to stop off nearby and transform or anything like that.
Then you'd have to walk. That's boring.
These will be important later.
Like when he lands, he'll transform, but that's pretty much the gist of it.
Okay.
Oh, also, because Cassie had said that she was going to go dig up information or whatever that were about that planeswalker that came by periodically.
I also said about all planeswalkers that the dude has written about that he happens to have information on.
Oh. Hey, did we have anything that was relevant about the guy that comes by periodically?
The guy that comes by uses, it mentions that that Vayne has encountered them twice.
Oh.
And that they are an individual bearing armor that is very not native to this plane. Its construction far more advanced than anything that'd be capable. And a pair of hook-like swords. Curved bladed. The person has an unusual ornament to their armor in that their breastplate is shaped like two crossed arms crossed over their chest. And
Okay.
from Vayne's observations of this person and occasional meeting, the person does not seem to want to interfere with the plane too heavily. All that they do is they come, they kill some dinosaurs, and then they summon up a object, some form of large silver orb, which they then load the carcasses of the creatures into and hurl it through the planes, or hurl it out into the ether.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what he knows of this person. He's never encountered them in any great way to talk, because once the task is complete, they leave.
They just peace out.
They peace out. And with the one time that he attempted to encounter the person actually stopped what they were doing immediately and planes walked away.
Damn it, I need to go away for a few. I'll be back.
That's fine. There's probably just going to be some talking going on. So, you guys approach do you land inside the wooden fence of the fort, or do you land outside of it?
Oh, so it's... Okay, so it's got a wooden fence, so this is not a ruins. This is...
What basically, to describe the scene as you get closer, since I didn't apparently do a very good job, there is a group of people who have established, like, basically a small camp town, or a small tent town in front of these ruins on these little islands about. Directly in front of each of these ruins. They've erected, they're mostly just staying in tents, but to protect themselves from the large creatures of this plane, they have set up a log wall around the exterior of their camp and a bivouac, so large spears stuck in the ground, pointing out and sharpened tips.
So it's a palisade.
Palisade, yeah.
Okay.
A very, very impromptu palisade, but a palisade.
No, I think dropping a dragon into the middle of their camp might put them a little bit on edge. So no, I think Malgarian will elect to land outside of it, transform back into a humanoid shape, and just be like, "What up, guys?"
Exactly.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. So,
Thank you.
you land outside, out of sight, obviously.
No. He's just gonna go ahead and land outside and then transform.
Okay. So, broadside of the whole camp?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. You are right in your assessment that this puts them on edge.
And then he transforms back into his elf, and he puts his hands behind his back and says, "Good afternoon."
The two guards are standing there with pikes at the ready. Some men up on ladders on top of the walls are like leaning over with crossbows held. These people don't look native to this plane.
Mm-hmm.
They are dressed in modern garb, or what it counts from,
Okay, so modern on the medieval planes or modern on the steampunk planes?
Modern on the...
Or are they from Seattle?
No, they are, I'd say, modern for a medieval setting. They're dressed in tunics and pants, most of them. Guards wear, steel armor that is of a, smithed, forged make.
Mm-hmm.
They have metal pikes, obviously made of steel. And crossbows as well. And they just watch the dragon come and descend on their camp and turn into a person. And you actually can hear, like, one of the pike guards, like, lean over as he's, like, holding his arm and is like, "Jeffro, have we ever seen a dragon turn into a man? Or a man turn into a dragon, for that matter?" The other knight leans in. "I don't think we ever have there." Give me a name. Someone give me a name. My brain just blanked.
Billy.
Drave.
Billy. Drave? I don't think we ever have there, Drave.
Call the other one Jethro, so Billy.
I was about to say, if you start hearing a banjo, run, Matt.
Start hearing a banjo, the only merciful thing to do would be to eat them.
Do you think we should call the chief prospector?
At that point, Malgarian is going to turn to look towards those two and be like, that in fact would probably be the prudent thing to do. Also, given what you all saw, I don't believe that pointing the crossbows at me is going to really do much to help the diplomatic situation here, is it?
Dev, it talks. Yeah, I can hear that.
Yes, he does. Please go retrieve your chief prospector. I'd like to speak to whomever is in charge here.
Oh snap, you assumed his gender, now he's pissed. He points up to one of the crossbow men and simply says, "Go get ale shot, quick."
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you had said.
He actually looks up at the wall at the guy who's like hanging over there with his crossbow still trained at you, and it's like, "Go get ale shot, quick." see the guy scamper down the ladder and take off. Does he also have
what
a
are
fairy? And I don't even know what that is there.
well, I was gonna actually even ask where even are the other two at this point, because Bulgarian's just like, oh hey cool, there's a thing, and off he goes.
Yeah, where are the other two in this thing? Did you follow him down or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I followed him down. I just am kind of holding back a little bit because seeing how the reaction is.
You know, he changes the dragon, and then just come down, like land on his horn or something. Just watch until someone's like, "He's gotta." It's like, no, hey, no, nobody has me. I am my own being.
Into an elf.
Fuck.
He turned back into an elf. There's not a horn there.
Well, she just stays in the air because it's wings.
Okay.
I was gonna say you could always hang off his knife here.
Grab on.
I was only talking when I mentioned Warcraft. I was only talking about their build. Damn it.
All right. Anyway, so there's the. He's like, I can't remember who said what. Okay, sorry. One of the guards turns to the other guys and like, now I think you pissed off the fairy.
Yes, you might want to ask for him to stop talking so that you can get whomever's in charge to, approach this particular conundrum. It'd be a shame if he dug you all into a deeper hole. Jethro.
They turn back to one another. This almost makes you want to deal with another one of the Snapjaws. No, I don't.
I don't think he's gonna listen to you.
Oh, I don't think they listen to themselves, Fizzle.
Yeah, well.
Gee, wouldn't it be nice to actually, if you had an actual human there? Yeah, I know. I insisted on staying behind.
No, but
And get back to studying since,
Maybe we should do the same thing and just talk to each other.
Also, shoot, I was just assuming that you said that in our minds, so I was talking back at you.
Oh no, I was saying it out of character. Sorry about that. I just thought I'd interject since I was falling asleep.
oh, sorry, Jimmy.
That's okay. That's okay.
But
I'm just gonna assume everything you say out of character, you're saying into our minds. Because that's amusing.
well, hey, you know what? With Cassie's character being proficient in the magic that she is, she could leave you guys permanently linked as far as minds.
Cassie, you are Magan.
Yes, I have mine linked, everyone.
You don't want that.
So yeah, Jimmy can totally talk on anything that the party relays to him.
You really don't want that.
We're gonna get every single one of Fizzle's comments about like, dude, look at the rack on that chick. I could sleep between those things.
Anyway, but the two guards kind of actually look at you and go, we apologize, but it is protocol that we not make first contact with any foreign species that is not attempting to eat us, or brain us in the head with clubs, or dissolve us in acid.
Well, then I believe that you have already failed at that protocol. So yes, I do believe that it would be prudent to go get your leaders. Otherwise, I will simply have to make my way over your wall and go find them myself. And since your own protocols do prevent you from initiating first contact, you are not allowed to stop me.
To be fair, he said first contact. If you go in there, that's,
Wait.
Shh, they're obviously not smart enough to understand the principles behind the
That might be
protocols.
right. So I think what he said was, if we pick up some clubs and hit them in the head, they can talk to us.
Ooh, that's true.
I believe that they're, at this point, slightly nervous theory, I believe the proper protocol for that form of first contact is to stab you.
Okay, all right. My personal protocol for being stabbed is to light people on fire. Do you want to skip the in between then?
Not particularly.
Okay, then how about we just go in?
At this point, the gate flies open, and a dwarf walks through the gate. Hang on, I actually want to make this guy a little bit because he's got some good detail on him. He wanders through and proceeds to, with the wand in his hand, just club the two guards in the back of the knee.
I believe I appreciate this chief prospector and his endeavors.
Hey, did he just Nancy Kerrigan two guards?
He also mutters something about ceasing your idle prattle. Who be ye and what be your business?
We are here on a...
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
We're... I'm assuming that you are the chief prospector.
Prospector Professor Gregory Aleshot, at your service.
Pleasure to meet you. I am Malgarian, the broodlord of the White Dragonflight. And these are my associates, Fizzle of... Shit, what was Rin is the plane you're from?
Bryn with a V.
Rin
VR.
with a V.
Yeah.
Esteemed Glitter Mage of Rin. And Amatrine...
Esteemed.
Yes.
Curses.
Thank you. We are here to locate a very specific item.
A highly specific item, you say? From our archaeological dig, you say?
Possibly.
Alright, well. You a frickin' dragon. With... I don't know what she is, and a pixie. You three magical creatures, obviously. I don't think wood logs are gonna stop you if you want to come and go. So,
No, but I figured not having to make your men panic and feel like they needed to defend their lives was the more prudent method of approach.
that'd be much appreciated. Come on in. We'll discuss what you're looking for, and perhaps what we can do for one another. I appreciate the courtesy, especially when dealing with these two. What
Yes,
have I-
Jethro does have quite a mouth on him.
What have I told you, Jeffro? What have I told you, Jeffro?
I think it's great how
assess the
progressively. I think it's great how as the dwarf keeps talking, he keeps turning more and more and more into Colonel Sanders.
I was originally gonna try and give him like avoid the Scottish dwarf and go with like an erudite dwarf who talked in a very proper manner, and actually has like a dislike of any dwarf who's talks.
What are you on about?
Exactly, talks like that. He's just like, I'm a learned dwarf, thank you. But no, Colonel Sanders works. What have I told you, Jeffro? What have I told you? Ask, assess the situation, and then call for me. First contact protocol is not that hard, sir. I understand it's a frickin' dragon. But
At which point Malgarian's gonna tap him on the shoulder and interject. Let him keep talking and all that. Just be like, he is dragon. Thank you.
All right, okay. I apologize, sir, for assuming your gender.
Quite all right. I understand that it's difficult for the more mammalian races to understand the differences between us. 2 words: genital sheath.
Hey, at least you said it. And so he's like, come along, we'll go to my tent.
Tent?
Tent.
God, I'm glad I didn't go with you guys.
So
Do you have to make everything dirty?
He pitches
walks
the tent
along.
everywhere he goes.
I was actually just referring to the fact that I get a spectacular library. You guys are in shitty camp.
With Colonel Sanders, though, we get chicken.
That's right.
Shit!
So, scene progresses as you guys follow him along, and he has set closest to the temple itself a very large white fabric tent. It's kind of a steepled tent, you know, with a large central pole.
Mm-hmm. It's called a nipple tent.
Sure, nipple tent. We'll go with that. And he kind of walks with his wand out. It's not really big enough to use as a cane, though. Yeah.
We can say that it is.
Yeah, he kind of uses his wand as a cane. So he dwarf struts along in that way that dwarves do. Eventually, he opens the flap of the tent for you. And I think we're all kind of familiar with Harry Potter by this point. It's obviously an enchanted tent. As you walk inside, it has all the creature comforts of a home within.
Motherfucker.
You go from the loamy island, or the loamy earth of Maraganda to a literal wood floor.
Mm-hmm.
The walls are still cloth, but it's a literal wood floor. He has a large iron dwarf-faced pot-belly stove in the middle of the tent, heating it. Tables about where he's got his archaeological notes. Presumed map of the thing where there's several red X's where don't send men here, don't send men here. Team 6 disappeared here.
Mm-hmm.
And also in there, sitting in a drawing chair, is another finely dressed human man. Looks like that. And Ailshot gestures to him with his cane. Allow me to also introduce our liaison, Knight of the Gate Watch. Okay.
And his boyfriend.
No, he's not my boyfriend.
Jeez.
Knight of the
Way
Gate
to get
Watch.
all
Okay.
offended.
And yeah, dude's dressed up, armor plating, light tunic. You can't see it on the picture, but he has a unusual emblem pinned to the chest of his tunic. It's just simply an open hand, thumb out, 4 fingers all together, and he's just wearing that, almost in kind of the insignia of rank, and he's not a lich. Ailshot continues. I keep calling him Colonel Sanders. God damn it, Matt. Ailshot continues. He's our liaison to ensure that we are... Oh. Yeah, I didn't clip him out as well as I had hoped.
Okay.
All the points. All the points. Shit.
He's the liaison between them and the assholes.
He's our liaison here to ensure that we don't interfere with the development of this plane while we are investigating these ruins.
Oh.
Wait, who? What?
Hey, Josh, I would like... Can I just say that Mulgarian recognizes the thing since he's been doing this shit for 30 years?
Yeah, all the Gatewatch wear that. Every
Okay.
Gatewatch member wears that insignia of the outstretched palm with the four fingers together.
Okay. So at that point, Mulgarian just gonna look to the dude, and it's not a bow of like of reverence or anything of the sort. It's just like a very light bow of like, oh hey, you guy, how's it going? He's just gonna nod towards him and be like, well then, if the Gatewatch is here, then that's certainly interesting. I believe that one of my compatriots has a few notes that we should send you. Also, is he are we getting the quickening from him?
No, you're not getting the quickening from him at all. You do not sense any planeswalkers here. Other than yourselves. Okay. I mean, it's not an exact sense, so... You can sense planeswalkers. They're you.
We're not sensing any new planeswalkers.
Not sensing any new planeswalkers. But no, you mentioned that your associate might have notes for him. Mm-hmm. He kind of pokes up. Oh. And what notes would those be?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Oh, one of the journals was commenting about a planeswalker that has come by a few times and massacred a few of the local fauna and then ejected them off towards another plane. But that is a matter that we can address after. Mr. Ailshot, I believe that we had business we needed to address with you first.
Well, yes. You said you were here looking for something?
At which point Mulgarian's going to nod and then look towards one of the blue mages. Like, I don't suppose that either of you could illusion up a copy of the one that we were using. Or the one that we had before.
Sure. Alright, what do I need to roll for that, or can I illusion it?
Yeah, you can illusion it. I wouldn't say that has any opposition. Okay. So you just Ametrine pulls apart her yeah. That's an unusual amulet.
Yes, so there's apparently going to be something similar to the stone and that's somewhere near here. And we require it for the sake of being able to complete the set.
At the very least, similar in size.
Ailshot looks over to the Gatewatch Knight that is standing there, and he gives a small nod. We haven't encountered anything like that in our exploration of the three ruins that exist here. But it is possible that it could be there. It looks a little bit too new of construction for what we've been finding out of this place. You sure it's here?
Well, given that the
We believe
Ha-
it was placed here.
correct.
Placed here.
The clue that we are attempting to the clue or lead, as you would, however you would prefer to call it, that we are attempting to follow up on, simply stated that the stone that we are after would be in following a cardinal direction near or within the ruins of old. And these were simply the first that we have come across as we were traveling.
Ailshot looks over a few of his other notes, surveyor reports, and he's like, yeah, they would be the right place. This is the only ruins on the plain. It's an oddly specific hint, considering. Honestly, it's half the mystery of this place. Plain's too young to have ruins, so...
How old are these ruins in particular?
Easily a few centuries. Yeah, sorry, I garbled my words there.
It's all
Easily
good.
a few centuries.
Out of character, how long ago was it that Dipstick was doing his stuff?
Vane? Not that long ago. Like, maybe a couple decades at the most.
Okay. Is there anything that you can tell that would have tampered with these ruins anytime within the last 30 or 40 years?
We have encountered a few traps within the ruins that have been sprung, deactivated. Not in a natural fashion, like not due to age or simply decomposition.
Actually triggered.
Actually triggered. They're still functional in all of the ways. They go deep to the heart of the ruin, but we haven't been able to send a team deep enough in there.
Fizzle?
That seems like a fairly good indicator.
Yeah. Fizzle, do you think you'd be able to try and... I know that it was supposed to be faint, but do you think you might be able to try and sense where it might be?
Sure. I can try that.
Go for it. I'm going to say on this one, need a 4. Because it is a very faint trickle. And considering what it is, it's going to blend in with what's around you.
Okie dokie.
Holy shit!
I've stared into the mana and I see everything.
Yeah, you're able to, with that roll, definitely get the sense of what you're looking for.
Holy crap!
You can feel the shape of a small sapphire stone hidden deep, deep within one of the ruins, within the largest ruins treasure chamber, that is radiating a trickling stream of blue mana from it. But you can sense it because it's different than the natural mana of this island that you're on.
Found it.
I'm just imagining this, like, she's like standing on like Amatrine's shoulder or whatever. She's like, yeah, hold on a second. Her eyes go a little bit out of focus. Like half a second later, she just throws one hand up in the air above her head, and the other hand on her hip. She's just super cocky about it, like, found it.
Oh my.
I don't know why Fizzle got suddenly super flamboyant, but she's bragging.
I'm a pixie. That's why.
Fair enough.
It's true.
It-
All right, then. So yeah, you know where it is. You know what it is.
Fizzle, do you
Alright,
think
then.
you'd be able to point it out on the map? Give Mr. Aleshot here a point to give us direction for?
Show me the map.
You can sense it, but the part of the map that it's radiating from is far deeper than he has charted. You can get so
This
you have
map
like a
is useless to me.
you have like a half finished map, and you go like way off of where the furthest tunnel he has. He goes, and you draw a big red X there.
And it's over here.
That's just after where Team ZX got envenomated by spiders.
Envenomated?
Envenomated.
They got bit by a bunch of spiders.
How large of spiders? I'm assuming, like everything else here, ludicrous.
Oh, gigantic.
Hmm.
One of them lost a leg. Poor Jimmy.
Did he lose a leg? I was starting to talk and then I heard the name.
The saddest part is, that's just the name that came to my head. I didn't have a name for this guy. Jimmy, are you awake?
I'm awake. Frank was talking.
Oh, I apologize for that joke. It wasn't intentional.
Hey, hang on a second. I'll be right back, and then you can explain it to me.
Okay.
Okay.
She was going to ask if he lost his leg because the spider tore it off or because the venom and they couldn't do anything for it. Jimmy.
The soldier lost it to venom.
Okay. No.
I'm putting it in chat. Go. You guys keep going.
Okay.
I forget what we're doing.
Oh, motherfuckers!
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
it.
sorry.
I'm done.
You're
I'm
done.
out.
I'm sorry.
He quits forever.
I'm about to nope the fuck out.
Your rage quits.
Well, no, even after I said it, I'm like, oh shit.
I hate you all.
It's okay. I
No, you
love
don't.
I don't know. You keep saying that, but then
If you hated us, you wouldn't have come back.
I think I'm just a glutton for punishment.
Also true. Oh, whoops, that's Dark Channel.
All right, so I'm gonna retcon that. His name is not Jimmy.
Bruce.
Bruce. Bruce is a good name. Bruce.
He also lost a hand.
No, just a leg.
In my head canon, he lost a hand because your Gatewatch guy only has 1.5 of them.
I'll fix his token. Shush your face. But no, he, like, Elshot kind of looks at the map and goes, you'll have to go quite deep.
Oh, I don't believe that will be too much of a problem.
I believe wouldn't be. Tell you what. Because again, he's a dragon, she's a pixie. You're at a loss for Amatrinine's race. You're fancy is what you are. I'm just gonna call you fancy.
Okay then.
Oh man.
And now I have a country song in my head.
Yeah. So long as you don't disrupt the gate inside the ruins, and do not disturb any of the historical value there, and any treasure you find, you bring out here for us to study, we'll let you go in. We'll let him go in, and he looks over at the gate watch, who's just like, so long as they don't disturb the gate.
I'm assuming this is not a naturally occurring gate.
No.
So then ultimately your historical site is on principle compromised because it is not actually a gate from this plane.
No, it is a gate from this plane. We discovered and reconnected it to a gate of
That's
our
what
own.
But that's what I was meaning to say. The plane would have not been, or the gate would have not been built by any denizen of this plane. As he then looks at the gatewatch guy, somebody else was already tampering here.
Elshot goes, you bring up my theory. I believe that this plane is older than we think it was. That perhaps some form of reset happened, set the whole plane back to a primordial state. And that this is the only thing that's left of whatever inhabitants were previously here. Maybe their exit point from this plane. And that's what I'm here to study, figure out. That's also why he's here. He points to the gatewatch guy.
Well, then I don't suppose that either of you have... is the name Vern in any way familiar to either of you?
Vern? No, I don't know no Vern. You know Vern? Okay, she's like, no, I do not know Vern.
Don't you mean Bane?
Vane, whichever.
Vane.
Right. Too many four-letter fucking names involved in this freaking franchise. Anyway.
Technically, I made Vane's name 5 letters. He has a needed Y in the middle.
Anyway. We have some information from a planeswalker who had been observing a lot of this plane. And if that is your running theory, then... well, I would put it this way. If you see a giant ooze-looking monster, I would advise activating the gate and fleeing as fast as you can. Because that may be your walking apocalypse that you're theorizing. But as far as trying to get our little trinket and getting out of your way, here, I'll make this as easy as we can for you. I will give you access to the chamber that Fizzle found. Just tell me where you would like the entrance. We can even put it within your walls if you would like. What, Cassie?
Can I do it?
Yeah. Thank you, Emily. Red tube, here we come.
Oh my. Anyway, so simply to put it, you're offering to basically put a portal down there?
Oh no. We have a freaking avatar over here and a two red mages. We can move as much dirt out of the way as we fucking need.
Yeah,
And we're just gonna build a tunnel directly to the freaking thing.
Earthbending.
Seems like an okay deal. Very well.
We just need to know where they want the entrance, and then be like, hey, look here, it's inside your freaking palisades, even. So.
All right. The dwarf
They'll have to provide their own ladders and ropes.
Yeah, the dwarf reaches up to shake Valkyrian's hand.
At least he's not trying to shake my hand. I think I'm taller than the elf.
Yes.
So, you got yourself a deal. I'll even, if you need it, provision you with torch, standard kit we send with all of our gear, or all of our survey teams.
Or you could simply just send them with us, and we will dig the tunnel into the room. Or are you out of survey teams?
No, we still got a few.
Meaningful glance towards all the X's.
I'll need to pick some people. Alright, so I take it then that your idea is to just dig underneath the temple straight to the treasure room?
Wait, never mind. Singing the I Am a Dwarf song would be very insensitive right now.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I know you're sleepy. Can you give me another roll on your research?
Sure.
But yeah, the idea is to...
What the hell? So that would be 1?
No, that'd be 0.
Well, if he's using...
Because you have your +1 from your skill. Yes. So if you mouse over where there's that 0,
yeah.
So it rolled four die fate dice plus your 1. So it gave you 2 minuses, a neutral, and a plus.
But the thing you was gonna say is, isn't he using the? Oh wait, no, that's not.
No. I knew it wasn't mana. I thought that I had to manually enter the +1 for the skill.
Ah.
So that's my own.
So let's see here. You can always pass a fate point to do either a reroll or a thing, but you need you can either give yourself a +2 on that through an invoke or invoke for a reroll.
You know what? Why the hell not?
Okay, which one you using, and how you gonna narrate it?
Well, I'm gonna narrow my search because I know I was looking for a thing. So I'm just going to look the mention of the stones individually. You know, I mean specifically. So that I saw him completely my search on that.
Okay.
I can always come back to the other thing.
You can. The other thing is, I need to know which aspect you're going to invoke for this and how that applies.
I seek dragon.
I seek to impress the dragon. All right.
Applicable.
It's applicable. Ah, crap. So I need to just grab one of your fate points and put it over there with me. Okay.
So I get it. So I put in a 2 for.
Yeah, you could do a 2+, or you can re-roll it entirely. It's up to you.
You know, I'll just do the +2.
Okay. So that counts as a 2. You're halfway done with your research. You narrow down the stones a little more. You find a few mentions that he's left, where he mentions that the stones were gathered throughout the multiverse from various planes that he visited.
Okay.
And that he worked them into this final puzzle. That he was going to distribute them for some of the primitive members of the planes and other hiding places. Like, he figured to go to becoming that he could manipulate a couple individuals for these stones to become heirlooms, and the rest he could hide as tests to see if someone would actually be a good recipient of the book, if they'd be adventurous enough, and if they'd have the intelligence to obtain the stones in the first place. So, you're up to 3 out of 5 on your task. Let's get back to this crazy plan these other 3 are figuring out.
Wild and crazy plan.
The wildest and craziest. So, Matt, or Amatrine, maybe Cassie.
Yes. Yes.
So what's the plan?
We're going to earthbend our way down to the area where the gemstone is. And
Alright,
skip the
so-
spiders.
And skip the terrible envenenating spiders and numerous traps?
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, let me shrink down these 2 guys here for a moment. And
I'm
let me...
kind of assuming that we're going to be not wrecking a bunch of the ruins and whatnot, and pretty much just trying to, but beyond that, just trying to make as close to a beeline towards the chamber from where we're at as we can.
That is the intention, yes.
So, give me an idea here. So, say that that's the room, right? Draw me how you're going, and the entrance to the temple is, say, up here. Actually, it'd be a little further from that. Hang on. Grabby.
Are we looking at this in profile, or are we looking at this as far as the map? Top down.
In profile. Side on.
Are they actually that close together?
No. I'm just kind of working with what I got here. Hang on. Let's move this a little further. And why can I not grab this thingy here? Give me a second. Did I put it on the wrong layer? No, I didn't. Why can I not grab this dang token? Okay, I can drag this dang token. Why can I not drag this? Screw it. So
I just finished my pretty drawing.
I'll go. There's the room. And you are out there on the outside. There's the camp. Because the temple goes up, and then it goes down through a big winding bunch of catacombs. So, What's your plan?
Well, the idea was to just kind of make it as direct as possible without going through any of the catacombs or whatever.
All right.
So
Something like basically just down and over.
pretty much, because I figure they have ladders and whatnot, ropes.
Mm-hmm.
But if we just go straight down and over, then what we're doing is we're making a 500-foot death drop if anybody slips off that rope.
I wasn't saying straight down and then straight over. I was saying, like, it's probably going to be pretty windy, and as far as it's going to be at
Like
angles. Yeah.
Stairs?
Can we just do stairs?
I can make a spiral staircase. Or a staircase of whatever needs to be made.
Like, yeah, basically, I mean, we don't want to cut through any of the catacombs. And this might be catacombs, I'm not sure.
So they might wind up with some actually rather well-worked stone staircases throughout the thing. Just because she has a flair.
All right.
She
Okay.
is, after all, of a high stratum.
This is true. This is going to take time.
Yes.
So. But yeah. It
You
can
know,
be-
you know what it's not going to take?
What?
Envenomating spiders.
A bunch of conflicts with envenomating spiders. It's going to
Yeah.
take time, and it's going to be hard. And I'm imagining this whole discussion of, like, do we want to do like a straight shaft and then spiral staircases, or do we want to go like a straight line tunnel, like a ramp down? How do we want to do this?
I want
It's like
loopy
taking
loops.
It's like taking place around like a campfire in the camp, but they're just like, do you wanna?
Well, if we do the ramp, though, we might be cutting through some of the catacombs, so we might want to,
Go around it.
But don't we have also the ability to sense when we're about to get to, say, a new kind of stone or some shit? Because if we're going just through dirt, that's one thing. But then when you get to the rock that the whatever catacombs might be made of, because if you go straight down, you're going to have the same problem. We're going through area where we don't know exactly what has been worked.
So ultimately, there are places where we might have to go straight down and I'll make a spiral staircase, and there are places will be ramps.
Yes, I figure all we have to really decide is what is going to be the majority of our endeavors.
Wrong cat. Sorry, she's just like ready to get started.
Okay, so I'm gonna make this an obstacle.
Okay.
And the obstacle is kind of a multi-part challenge. Okay,
All
so
right.
you're gonna need a series of rolls on this one. The last one will be to just straight dig the tunnel.
Mhm.
The first roll is you need to avoid the catacombs. So make a spell shaping. Targets 3. That's easy enough to do.
All right. Am I adding the bonus of 1 for blue, or is it just?
Since you're working with Earth, go for the bonus with red. It doesn't really. Yeah, you are adding a +1.
Okay.
Are you a red mage?
No.
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
because you were saying that she's able to elementalism all through blue.
Right, because it's basically just a form of just different forms of manipulation.
Mhm.
All right, so the +1 you do get. So roll me them bones. Okay, you succeed. You have more or less an idea of how you can get around the catacombs. Part 2. You need to dig the tunnel without accidentally hitting anything that's going to flood it, because you are on an island. accidentally rupturing the tunnel, hitting any spots that are, particularly would allow water in. So that's going to be another 3 spell shaping. Okay, good to go. Now for the hard part, pulling it all together at a +4. To dig the tunnel, reach the treasure chamber, hit that button.
Okay. Now wait. Like I know you wanted to do the too many cooks thing, but say if I want to work with her on this, would I be able to help? Since this is the important part.
Yeah, I imagine that. That's the thing. With too many cooks, I limit it to 2 players. So a player could help.
So
Okay.
I was wondering, is that if somebody's helping, is it another roll or is it a bonus to the roll?
I'm going to actually look that up. Hang on. Active opposition.
Have players roll to create an advantage.
Yeah, Emily would roll to create an advantage.
Okay, I can do that. Spell shaping roll +1. Well. I was only half paying attention.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like Amatrin or Fizzle does help. She blasts away some of the stuff with her magic.
It's like, ooh, look at this.
Uses her glitter.
Oh, never mind. That's just some more glitter. I thought we found something fun. Hey, where'd you go?
And while useful in its raw labor, it doesn't really help that much. Not in a significant degree to lessen the strain of this activity. So,
All right.
So you're gonna need to get a 4+ on this one. That's fine. Okay. You make some very nice tunnels straight down in there. And it is hours later. The moon is high in the sky by the time this is all completed.
Algarian's back at camp napping.
Those Tedricks.
Tedrick, make me one more research check.
Damn.
You're at 3, so.
Or don't stop hating me.
Okay.
Oh.
You surpass. You finally get to it. You connect all of the dots that you needed, and you find out that the redstone that you need is in the hands of a group of spell shapers, tribal spell shapers, called the Blood Witches.
Oh, that's just lovely.
They inhabit the mountains east of your current location. They are a matriarchal society and a society very, very, very heavily based on the idea and a very early form of spell shaping where you draw power, particularly red and black mana, through the sacrifice and manipulation of a sacrifice's blood. Hence the name.
That's
Awesome.
The most metal thing I've ever heard.
no, I mean just from Tedrix's perspective, that's red and white.
Yeah, true. Anyway, so yeah, that's where the redstone lay. He gave it to a young practitioner of this art, for her to pass down as a family heirloom. He had endeavored to give it to someone who did not seem heavily corrupted by the practice of this magic, who'd perhaps treat it responsibly. Though, again, that was 20 years ago.
Right.
So,
Can I get Can I get a hold of them?
Yeah. You guys, Amatrine has been maintaining a mental link between all of you.
Okay, well, I'll let them know that. And if my research is done, wondering if I should try and join them.
Well, you do have your beat stick. I mean, BDSM stick. I mean, your leash back.
You know what? Yeah, I will. I will go join them.
I'll go join.
Fizzle's just over here like, wait, did he just say a whole bunch of hardcore native women?
Yes, he did in fact say a bunch of a highly matriarchal society of women who practice magic through
Blood.
manipulating sacrificial blood.
I am all over this one. I got this, guys.
I
Well,
cannot responsibly make the joke that I want to, so I'm just gonna have to do it irresponsibly. So what you're saying is, once they all sync up for like 4 days out of every lunar cycle,
God,
they get stupid powerful.
oh,
That's not counted as
terrible.
sacrificial.
God damn it, Matt.
Damn it. All right. So, it's around this time that he mentions that Tidrick comes out and
It's gonna be the spark.
completes his research that you bust through to the treasure chamber. So, Cassie, I'm gonna call on you for this.
Okay.
You have the treasure chamber of a mysterious, ancient, unknown civilization all before you. What's in it and what does it look like?
Remind me what the ruins looks like a little bit first.
It's the
It looked
the
like a
Lincoln Memorial.
oh my god.
Yes,
Nope.
columns everywhere.
Columns everywhere. To state it, it looked like a large ziggurat, similar to Mesoamerican make.
Okay.
Except with vast underground chambers, almost like in an Egyptian style.
Yeah, because my first thought had been actually to have a sarcophagus and lots of gold around, but I'm debating on the gold and more maybe on the many different types of gems.
Matt, as Mulgarian is napping, Elshot comes up and taps him on the foot with his cane.
Mm.
I don't. I'm a dwarf. I'm a prospector dwarf. Why didn't I think to just dig to it? Why does it take a flippin' dragon? I'm having an existential crisis here.
So Malgarian is going to take on his fatherly nature here. He's gonna sit up from his nap and rub the sleep out of one of his eyes. Just say, and as he puts his hand on the dwarf's shoulder and say, because you were working under administration, the Gatewatch means well, but they are overly cautious. Even if you had suggested it, he would have likely shot down the notion.
That makes an amount of sense.
beyond the fact that I'm a dragon, it's likely the fact that all three of us are planeswalkers is why he did not contest the matter.
You want a
Don't
planes?
worry. I would love one. Also, how's the digging been going while I was sleeping?
I don't know. Occasionally I hear a boom.
Well, then that means that things are continuing quite well. When we stop hearing booms, then we should go and inquire.
Alright, and so, Cassie, got a description for me?
Oh, I thought that I said it when I said there's like at least one large sarcophagus and plenty of gems and various jewels of, or rather, various pieces of jewelry and armor made of various metals.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. You see all this about? The survey crew almost rushes past you, putting torch to various sconces in the walls to light up the thing, and as the gold begins to sparkle, they're like, boys! All of the teeth and fangs and envenomation and being threatened and regulated by giant creatures, it's all been worth it!
Also, I just want to throw this out there. Mulgarian could have pointed out to the dwarf that we just skipped like all those catacombs where there could be all kinds of interesting stuff for an archaeological dig.
Yeah, well, Malgarian's not entirely sure that these guys aren't actually here to just be grave robbers.
Yeah, well,
And that the Gatewatch guy is just here to make sure they don't go too far.
That's also true. So, Fizzle and Amatrine receive many, many pats on the back and like jostlings of like, you did it! You did it!
Watch the wings! They weren't easy to build.
People are much less patty with Fizzle now. Oh.
Be a little bit less handsy, you prick. I didn't consent to this tea.
So, what do the two down there do now?
Find our gem.
Yeah, find the gem.
Anyways, anybody gonna send a psychic message to the dragon?
No.
Or the friggin' other blue mage?
Nope.
We made it. I'll tell everyone that we made it. I mean, I figured that's something that she would have kind of thrown a picture up of the room and everything.
Oh, okay, cool. At that point, Ailshot's gonna get smacked on the shoulder and be like, hey, you wanna go see something cool?
Wait, I have a question. Does
So-
Amatrine dress like she does in her picture, in the picture you chose?
Hold on.
That is a good question.
Not quite to that extent. It's a similar aesthetic, but no, she actually has more of a shirt on and her nipples aren't exposed.
Okay. It just occurred to me. It's like, wait a minute. Has she been like walking around like that the whole time, or is that just
With exposed, if she had exposed nipples, I think more people would be less inclined to just call her fancy.
Well, I mean, like last game we played, I was, or well, maybe not the last game, but the one before that, I was, Space Mermaid, and she only put pasties on so she wouldn't offend anybody.
True enough.
And if her character if they're her people just dressed like that, no one cared about nipples, and she didn't care about anybody else, then you know, I don't know.
You just want there to be more nipples.
That's exactly it. Just not enough. There just aren't enough.
All right, so, sir, I guess, honestly, I'm probably not going to make you make investigations to find this.
Well, especially since we had that, super duper roll.
Uh-huh. So yeah, it's fairly obvious what piece is out of place. Sitting in a small glass box atop just a random pile of gold is a round sapphire stone dangling from a golden chain. It's identical to the one you found before, except it's a sapphire. Blue as the ocean, and radiating a trickle of blue mana.
Hooray! I found the thing.
Yep, there's currently a dude trying to figure out how to get open the box.
Stop touching that. It's mine.
We have dibs on that.
Okay. He hands you the box and goes back to stuffing a bag of gold. Or with gold.
Good job.
Box is fairly easy for Fizzle to open. Simple little bolts. Pop, pop, pop. Stone is yours. At this point, it's like 11:30. Do you want to close for there?
Please.
Please?
Yes, please.
Alright. So let's just do one last little bit of narration. How you gonna set up, like, sleeping for the night?
Well, first gonna go talk to that Gatewatch guy and be like, so, are these guys literally just looters? Because they seem like looters. At least the crew guys seem like looters.
Oker kind of shakes his head. No, they're not specifically looters. I mean,
stuffing bags full of gold
is not. I do believe that they were hoping that some of the fines could subsidize the costs for them coming out here.
Usually you do that through grants, don't you?
Not always. Not every plane has that sort of a setup. So, I believe that some of them hoped that the monetary value of the discoveries would cover their trip out here and perhaps secure them for the future.
Just stating that it does seem somewhat odd that someone who's supposed to guard the safety and validity of the development of a plane would let them wander off with what is believed to be the plane's last vestige of any sense of wealth.
So long as... Well, I don't believe that the current inhabitants of this plane hold much value for wealth.
No, but that is why the statement of its development is important.
This is true. But so long as we could figure out what happened to the previous civilization, I believe that that small sacrifice will be worth it. I don't presume to speak for all of the Gatewatch, but I believe that the developing tribes and species of this planet will develop their own wealth over time.
One can
And
hope.
I know that I am keeping a very close watch on most of them. And if there will be paperwork, of course, the dratted paperwork, as we make sure that they don't destabilize their own plane with a sudden influx of wealth. Like I said, some of the men hope to find glory and riches. Others are here for far more erudite purposes. Like Ailshot himself.
Yeah, he gave me a beard. I'm good with him.
I believe that Ailshot truly does want to find out what happened at this ruin, and research will continue. However, this is the first success most of the men have truly had, outside of preserving jars and pottery. And I'm hoping to make this guy not sound like a total asshole.
You made him sound like Colonel Sanders. Too late.
No, that was the other one.
That was the dwarf.
That was
Oh,
the dwarf.
shit.
Anyway,
It's
yeah.
all good.
And at that point, Tedrix comes down with Ilona and another Pteranodon.
Also, hi, Annie.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Annie.
Oh, I didn't even know that Annie was here.
Yeah, it takes a while to get myself put together after work so that I can come on. So
We're about to just
Oh.
we're about to do the closing statements and probably have the party decide how they're going to settle in for the night.
okay.
So, 2 stones down, 3 to go, and you know the location of the third.
I know what Mulgarian's gonna do. He's gonna go out into the woods, just raise up his arms, rip up a bunch of dirt, and bury himself in a pool of magma.
That's a lot of dirt you gotta rip up. Or
Well,
does he
to be
make
fair,
the magma?
he can just make the magma. He's a red mage.
Okay. I have a scene for when we to begin on for next session. Let me note this down.
For 10,000 years I lay dormant. Who dares to stir my... Oh, hey guys, what's up?
Do you enjoy the fact that that is my alarm clock every morning?
No.
Well, do you enjoy the fact that it's my alarm clock, even though it does wake you up every morning?
Yes, I enjoy the fact that that is your alarm, despite the fact that it is,
Evil that it wakes you up.
At 6:30 a.m. when he goes to bed at 4:30.
No.
Yes.
All right, well, I think that's a good place to close it. I mean, I imagine the people of this camp would allow you to stay the night.
Well, I'm gonna... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a landing space with like appropriate temperatures and everything.
Yeah.
That could be a good place.
That's true, we could go back to the dude's thing.
I'm a little like I might just kind of rest in the springs right outside. I'm a little bit worried about going too much further out into the water, considering the size of the creatures in this area.
You mean the oh holy jawtooth snap snap?
Yeah, that one.
I want you people to name all the dinosaurs. Name them. The names you come up with would be much better than mine.
Well, I've already named one of the creatures.
You mean little thieving bastard?
No, D-Moose.
Yeah, the D-Moose.
Oh, the D-Moose. D-Moose. So, I think that's agreement then. Everyone heads back to the Tomb of Vane to,
Oh,
chill
yeah.
out in their own way.
Well,
Yeah.
that depends. There's a very, very important question I think needs to be answered first. Did he actually set up a place for his corpse to be put?
No, he did not. He intended fully to just pass away in the comfort of his own living chambers.
Okay, then I'm going to go do some of my own fucking earthbending then, and I'm going to pretty much encase this dude's bed.
Okay.
By the way, Annie, we're crashing in a dead man's house while he's still in there.
Oh, no. I'll pitch this to you. Mulgarian doesn't really do typical earthbending, does he? He more deals with, like, volcanic stone and rock and things like that.
Generally? Yeah, I'd say as far as like all of the different earthy elements, he probably does do more stone and metal rather than dirt and rock.
Gathering up some sand from the valley beaches outside, he entombs the bed
In glass.
in black volcanic obsidian. Or glass. Glass works too.
Just do glass. Then everybody can look at his shriveled up corpse.
Which, by the way, I had thought to mention this earlier, but yeah, he doesn't look... He's human and humanoid looking, but he's not exactly human. Like, his skull's a little more square and solid looking than a normal human. He is a little more stout and square to him. Like, he's broader over the shoulder, more stout looking.
Neanderthal?
No, he's a race called and also in addition to this, his skin isn't like the color that a mummified skin normally would be. It's more grayish in tone.
Okay.
Because, as I said, he's of a race called the Kor, K-O-R. That's how they look. They are gray-skinned, kind of stout, well-built human.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
All right.
I'm just gonna sleep with the beast that I got.
Okay.
Oh
Dirty.
my.
Shut up. Or sleep near him.
Sleep near him. All right, I'm going to give everyone back the fate points that they had here. Boop, boop. All right. And I think that's a good place to end it. Does Bulgarian still go do that thing where he encases himself in magma?
Yeah, he slept last night as an elf. He's like, you know what? I really have the luxury of being able to sleep in my true form if I want to, so fuck it, doing it.
Okay. Ametrine in the water. How's Fizzle sleep?
With her eyes closed. No, with her eyes open.
How does Fizzle sleep?
That
Battered,
depends.
fried like a McNugget.
In a bed of glitter.
It kind of depends.
Okay.
Does Ilona throw her off when she tries to use her as a pillow?
Probably at first, but if you probably caught her after she was truly unconscious, she probably wouldn't notice. And then in the morning you wake up with, why do you do that?
Well, no, like that would be wrong. If she throws her off while she's unconscious, then she'll just go make herself a nice little glitter hammock and settle in.
I totally think that would have happened the first time, though.
I almost had a picture of her like going to that the hearth that sits there and is always burning, nice and warm, and then just chilling out on it, just being like, okay, this is look at this nice little shelf or mantle. It is just my size.
I'll put a glitter hammock on that. No problem with that.
And Jimmy, what about T-Drix is sleeping with his pteranodon friend that he's made.
Uh-huh.
What about Alona? How'd she go?
She's going to find a bed or make one.
Making a bed works.
Oh, by the way, Annie, the house that Ilona made in that little preamble thing.
Burned it to the ground.
Nope. Better.
Better than I would have expected from y'all.
It got eaten.
That's how they all woke up, with a brontosaurus munching on it.
No. It's a sun gazer, damn it.
Sun neck.
Whatever.
Sunneck. That
What a
stupid
terrible
fucking name.
Blind, stupid dinosaur is what it is.
I'm stupid. Alright, well, and I think that's it. The party settles in for the night. And we'll close this this chapter.
Though, I will put out there that every time they're going to go to bed, Bizzle tries to use Alona as a bed. So,
Every time.
so if she decides to get used to that, then one day. But as long as she fights it, she's not gonna like wake up with any surprises.
Well, Alona's like, I'm going to end up suffocating on glitter in the night.
Makes a little nest of glitter. No.
Alright, well, I'm going to play some music and take us out.
Okay.
Good night,
everyone.
everybody.
Night.
Night.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, who wants to